Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Kacy. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Whoops, I started again accidentally. Hello, everyone, welcome to the New Author Podcast. I never get this intro right. One of these days, you're going to have to take an intro.
We're professionals here.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, welcome to the New Author Podcast. I am Jerry Evanoff, one of the hosts of this podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 16, 2025. This is episode number 318, and joining me as he does this week is Rich Kacy. Rich, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. We're kind of right in the dead of, at the beginning, of the summer doldrums here. We've got another 6 to 8 weeks where it's just going to be unreasonably hot and humid. We'll have storms, we'll have hurricanes, and in order to get myself through this period, I've started planning a little vacation for September. So
nice.
To get out of it. Yeah.
I love when I hear people talking about planning vacations. It's so much fun. I was talking to a friend of mine about Vegas, and I was like, I think I like planning Vegas as much as I do actually going there and enjoying it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you actually, always the day before I have to leave on even if it's a fun vacation, the day before I have to leave, I'm always like, oh, why did I decide to do this?
Well, traveling is the worst. I actually got nonstop flights for the first time in like 7 or 8 years to Vegas. So I'm excited about that, but I haven't flown in a year and a half, and I'm not really looking forward to it. So
I try to get nonstop whenever I can, which is why I drive the hour and a half down to the New Orleans airport instead of flying out of the Baton Rouge, which is like 15 minutes from my house, just to get those nonstop flights.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to jump in. I think I just said to you right before we started recording that last week was kind of a blur for me. I don't remember a lot of it. So I'm going to do my best here to recall what I did last week. We'll start with my stats. Last week's goal was to finish the plotting of book 9, or as I said, finish the plotting. Oddly enough, I did finish plotting a book, but I did fail at my goal. Which I'll talk about here in a little while, which is always fun. Shiny things are always fun. I did do a little writing on book 9. I wrote chapter 3, 1,462 words. So my total for that book is 3,582. I'm up to 108,072 words on my way to 145,000 word goal that I planned for the year. My words per hour went up to 1,288. It's weird that I only have book 9 plotted through chapter 5, but I've already written, scenes 1 and 2 of book 1, chapter 1, and I wrote all of chapter 3. It's a fun book. I'm excited. I actually want to get in and start writing it, but at some point I'm going to be like, okay, I have to plot because I'm not a pantser. I can't do it. So, so I started plotting something else.
Yeah, the beginning is always the exciting part. It's kind of like, the first, half dozen dates or something. And then after that, it becomes work.
So, right. Yeah.
Well, I made my goal for the week, which was 3,000 words, but barely. Nice. I got 3,820 words. So
that's not barely. I would say that's not barely. I would say that's 800 more. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll see why I say barely in a little bit.
Right.
Cozy Mystery number 2 is up to 15,028 words, and I'm at 141,563 words on the year. So just a little under 60,000 to go to hit the 200,000 word goal.
All right, well, that's great. Looking at last week, so we last podcasted on Monday, which was about 9 days ago. So I'll start with Tuesday. I was in the office at lunch. I continued working through my plotting of book 9, doing a couple things. Number 1, I plotted chapter 6. So I'm actually 6 chapters in now, plotting, not 5. I'm 6 chapters in. And then based on a YouTube video I watched from Claire Frey, so I know I've mentioned her before. I'm a big fan of her YouTube channel. She talked about how she uses basically what she calls a grid. It's what what's her name, J.K. Rowling did for Harry Potter on a piece of paper. She made a big grid, and the one thing she did, it's very much like a story grid, or is that story grid? Is that what it's called? My brain is. I'm telling you, it's
story grid.
Story grid. It's complete fog. Much like that, it's the same thing, except the column headers are different. And I really enjoyed what she did, where she had, instead of having like time of day and the foreshadowing elements and all these cast of characters on the screen, she had the subplots. So she had each character. She had J.K. Rowling had Harry as the main plot, but then she had like what happens with Ron and what happens with the girl. Again, I'm not a Harry Potter guy. What's her name?
Hermione.
Her, and then what happens with the guy that was in Die Hard. Again, I don't know it very well. So anyway, and I thought that's kind of interesting for book 9 because I'm trying to wrap up a whole bunch of storylines in book 9. So I'm going to do that. So I went into my story grid and I deleted a bunch of columns, and I just added columns for each of my characters, my main characters, including some of the villains, suspects, and with an idea of just keeping track of what happens with them as the story goes on, so that I know that I just close all the threads. So this is going to be the final book of the series, as I'm calling it season 1. It's going to be the final book of the series, and I want to make sure that I close everything off, except for one thing that I'm planning on keeping open in case I want to write book 10. So I went in and did that, which was nice. I kind of actually enjoyed doing that. I love story grid, so I love going in and just.
Have you ever seen Rowling's original story grid for
the one on the pieces of paper?
Yeah, the taped together pieces of paper.
She showed it in the video. She showed the video. Yeah.
Taped together pieces of paper, all this little tiny scribbling on it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I could follow along with that, but but it was great. Yeah. So I did that. Then we had our golf Tuesday night. I think I shot a 47. I think we played the back 9. I played okay most of the holes, and then was terrible on a few others, which is kind of what I do there. Wednesday, got up in the morning, worked from home. At 8:45, I dropped Max off at the vet. They were basically doing some surgery to him. They knocked him unconscious. They cleaned his teeth, cleaned and polished his teeth. They pulled a couple of bad teeth in the back, and then used sutures to, I guess, heal the wounds. I don't really know. It's like a stitch, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got those, and then they gave me some meds for him. Like, it's a whole thing the last week and a half. There's no writing. I ended up working through lunch because I took him over around 8:45, and I was there for a few minutes, and then I went and got him around 3 o'clock. So I was there. So I just kind of worked through lunch to make up for that lost time.
I had this vision flash through my head when you said they pulled some teeth of him waking up like the abominable snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. No teeth.
It wasn't that bad. Yeah, they were all. There was only a couple of them. They were in the back, so you wouldn't even notice. So Wednesday night. So that was Wednesday. So I didn't do any writing again. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all. I don't remember what I did in the evening. I'm going to guess I was sitting at this table playing something sports related. I really don't remember. Thursday, I was in the office and then I had my writer's club, except I actually did neither of those things. Okay. I was supposed to be in the office, but again, we got all those extra work from home days a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, well, Max, I have to give him meds a couple times a day, and I have to make sure that he's eating, and just, I just want to make sure he's okay. I've been told by many people, including my sister, that I'm a very overprotective dog dad, which I guess it's true. I don't know. But I just want to make sure he was okay. I didn't want to leave him at home for like 2 hours before my dad came and got him in the morning, and then burden my parents with all that stuff. I just said, screw it. I'll just stay home. And then around noon, I posted in the Writers Club group that I won't be coming that night, because I just, I didn't want to leave him by himself for a couple of hours, right, especially when I knew he had to eat. I had to get him in. So it was funny, around 11 o'clock, I texted my mom. She's like, did he take his pills? I'm like, I can't get him to take anything. I crushed one of them up in this food he wouldn't eat. I said, I can't get him to take, there's no way he's going to take this capsule. This is a little Tylenol, the antibiotics. The other one was the pain pills. She goes, bring him over. I'll force it down his throat. And I'm like, okay. I took him over there, and I'm like, how are you going to do this? And she's like, dogs love hot dogs. Oh. And I'm like, I did not know this trick. So she literally cut a piece of hot dog, shoved the capsule down the middle, and he just ate it right down.
Yep.
Now I'm like, well, that's because he's over here at your house where there's another dog. At my house, he walked around with a potato chip in his mouth until I let him outside so he could bury it. There's no way he's doing this in my house. She goes, trust me. I'm like, okay. So I got, I brought him back home, and then that night I did the same thing. I bought hot dog. I took a hot dog from her because I don't think I've ever bought hot dogs in my life in a grocery store. Yeah. So I'm not I like chili dogs, but really just like Dairy Queen or there's a restaurant and we have it's a little diner in Warren. We have called the Hot Dog Shop.
Dairy Queen chili dogs are good.
They're good, yeah. And but I never buy hot dogs just to have to eat. So I took a hot dog home from her house, and that night I cut a little piece off and I gave it to him. Made sure the back door was shut, and he kind of walked around for a few. No, he was on the couch. He was laying on the couch, and he just kind of looked up at me like, "What do you want me to do with this?" Like, what? So I'm like, "You're supposed to eat it." So I went in the kitchen. I turned my back on him and went in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen for like a minute and a half. I come out, he had eaten the whole thing. He hadn't walked around with it. No, it was great. So that was a great trick. I did not know about this hot dog thing. It's amazing. So,
well, what this tells you is that your mom feeds him a lot of hot dogs, because
apparently,
he was trained to gulp it right down.
And now I know a better way to give him his heartworm pills that I give him every month. I usually, chop them into little pieces and put them inside of pieces of turkey and just give him that. And he takes it right down. But now the hot dog trick may make it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
In the evening, I did play my football game. I broke out some Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, 1965, and I played part of that game, and then went to bed pretty early. Friday, I don't know what I did. I worked from home. I worked the whole day. I know that. But I could not tell you. I didn't write at lunch. I'm positive of that. In the evening, I did play some more of my football game. I might have even, I'll be honest with you, I might have plotted at lunch and just don't remember. I do not remember Friday at all. So it's nice. I'm getting old. Saturday, I was off to the golf course in the morning. It was a really hot day, and I was still able to shoot an 86. I was crushing the ball with my fairway woods off the tee and out of the fairway. I was so happy with the way that I was hitting the ball. They're solid. They're actually drawing, which is it goes from right to left, which is such a better shot than a slice, which goes left to right. With a slice, the spin takes your distance off your ball, and with a draw, it actually adds distance to your clubs. And 5 years ago, it was August of 2020 when I was out with my buddy, and I said, "Hey, can you record me for Snapchat?" I'm like, I always record other people. Record me for Snapchat. So he recorded it, and I looked down at it before I posted it. When that is a horrific swing. And the next day, I was like, I need lessons. Somebody's got to help me. And I've been taking on and off lessons since then. I haven't had a lesson in a couple of years, but I'm taking on and off lessons since then. And I'm finally seeing, like 5 years later, I had a slice for 30 years. It's really hard to break that habit, but I'm finally seeing a much better swing than what I had, even a couple of years ago. It's very exciting. I mean, it's cool to hit the ball and be like, if I'm playing with 4 guys, chances are pretty good. After our tee shots, I'm going to go first because I'm the farthest back.
Oh, nice.
But now I'm like out driving people. It's so fun. So much fun. So
you're using all the woods off the fairway, or how many woods do you carry?
I hate irons, Rich.
Oh, okay.
So I have a driver. And I don't use it. I use the driver once or twice around. I usually hit it pretty well when I use it. But if I use it more than once or twice, I start just being terrible with it. So I use it on the big wide open holes, and I'll try to hit it far. But I have a 3-wood that I'd only been using for a while as my rescue club. But I'd gotten so good at keeping it low and hitting it out of the woods a long way that now I use it out of the fairway and keep it low and hit it a long way.
Okay.
I have a 5-wood, which is my favorite club. I have a 7-wood, and I have a 4 hybrid and a 5 hybrid.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to Amazon last year and I bought a 9 hybrid for $40 that sounds like an aluminum bat hitting the ball. But from 125 out, I'm on the green every time. Like, it's amazing. And I bought a 6 hybrid from Amazon a couple of months ago that when it came, turned out they sent me a 7 hybrid. Okay. Yeah, whatever. It's 140 yards. It's fine. So I have a 7, 8, and 9 iron, but I barely use them. I use a 9 iron every now and then. That's about it.
I had a driver and I had a 5-wood that were modern, but then I had my mother's old 3, 5, and something. Maybe it was a 7-wood. But they were they were like the early 1950s era hickory clubs.
Oh, right.
So, and it was, man, they were hard to hit because back then the sweet spots were almost non-existent on those clubs. They were very tiny.
Technology now is amazing. Yeah, that you get now. So it's fun. I enjoy it now. I really like going out and playing because I know, except for on Tuesday nights, I hate it, of course. But I know on the weekends I'm going to go out and probably shoot in the 80s and have fun. So I still have a bad shot every now and then, but I think every. So, all the hackers like me, So, came home after golf. I was off the Buffalo Wild Wings, and this is where I was looking to finish my plotting of book 9, or at least get pretty far in. Except for on the way that morning to golf. In fact, I did this wrong. Let's see. We're going to go like this. We'll leave it in there. So on the way to golf that morning, I started talking to myself about what book 4.5 should be. I've been talking about wanting book 4.5 for a while. Didn't know what the plot would be. And once I started plotting book 9, I thought, man, there's a couple of characters in here that I want to bring back. And the best way to do it is book 4.5. So if you look at it, book 1.5 and book 4.5 are more actiony than mystery. There's a little mystery in them, but it's more actiony. And it's going to advance the overarching plot. And it's going to introduce characters into the main plot as it goes on. And this is something that I learned from the I Am Number 4 book series that I absolutely love. He did 7 novels, but he did 16 novellas, and in the novellas he would introduce a new character, and then that character would show up in the next novel. I loved it. It was great.
Who's that author?
Well, the author is Pittacus Lore. Pittacus Lore is the name of the bad guy in the series. He wrote it under a pseudonym because it's actually James Fry or James Frey. Remember the big problem he had where he wrote A Million Little Pieces, and he was on Oprah's book club, and then found out he kind of lied about some of that stuff. Right. So he wrote it under a pseudonym for obvious reasons. Okay. And I love that series. It's my favorite series. So he did the same thing, and I'm like, I can really do this. I can use 1.5 to introduce some characters. Then I can bring them back in 4.5. Actually, one of them I bring back in book 4. I kill them off, and then book 4.5 that's kind of the inciting incident for 4.5, and then that story goes to the end, and then book 5 book 4.5 ends with Sam basically saying I'm packing for Vegas, and book 5 starts out with them in Vegas, which is I've already written that. So really liking how this is working. So this is what I started to do then on this day. That was in the morning before I got to golf. After I got to Buffalo Wild Wings, I started really plotting out book 4.5. And I kind of put book 9 aside for I mean, not forever. I just kind of want to get this plotting of book 4.5 finished so that I know what to do with those characters once I get to book 9. And then let's see, I typed everything I could think of. I started to organize it better, and then I made it into a 10-chapter plot. I'm going to look for around 10,000 to 12,000 words, around 40 pages, which is the same size for book 1.5. And these are all going to be freebies. The only way you're going to be able to get them is in the back of books. And I'll talk about that a little later, because I do have some fun stuff to talk about with my book series and the pricing and the marketing and all that stuff. So I got about halfway through the book 4.5. And then, I quit there and went back home. So I was probably there for a couple hours, getting basically half of a book plotted. On the way to golf next morning, I kept thinking about it, kept working it out. And I kind of decided that I want to build some kind of a note card style outline that I put on my bulletin board back here that really is just like one note card per book that talks about what's the front matter, what's the back matter, like where does it point, what book does it point to, what's the price going to be, when does the price change. I kind of want to map this out. I actually wrote it into this outline, and I'll talk about it later, but I'm really going to work on getting that onto a note card system or somewhere. I almost want to open Plotter, which I think I still pay for. It's like $25 a year. I almost want to open Plotter and do it in there, because Plotter's a really good, that timeline system that it has.
Right.
So I may do that. I think Scrivener also has that kind of a plotting tool. It's not as advanced as Plotter, but I may look at the Scrivener one too. But I really want to do something like that I could print out and look at.
Right.
Stand here and look at this bulletin board over here. You can see the corner of it right here. The bulletin board I built. It's 4 feet by 3 feet. It's huge. Yeah. And
there's something to be said just for having a bunch of index cards up there, though.
Yep.
There's
it's fun to look at it. It's just fun to look at it. Yeah. It is. So that was my Saturday in the evening. I'm sure I played football games or something like that. Nothing exciting. I did. I finished up my 65 Giants Cowboys game, and started thinking about the game I was going to play next. And I'll talk about that in a second. Sunday, back to golf again. I already talked about I'm still talking about this plot. And at the golf course, I felt like I was really playing poorly. Like I was playing terrible. I could not hit the ball. I really struggled on the first 3 or 4 holes. I ended up shooting an 85, which was 1 stroke better than the previous day, where I felt like I was playing great. It's the strangest thing.
It is.
So I was thinking, I was talking to Dave, my guy I play with, and it was just like, 5 years ago, I was looking at my scores because I've been keeping track since 2020, every round at that course. And I was shooting mid-90s. I'd have 100 every now and then. And now I'm like 85, 86, 87 every time. I'm like 15 strokes better than I was. It's amazing. It's just lessons.
Do you guys keep your own scores, or do you keep each other's scores?
Oh, no, we play. We don't play against each other for money, although we sometimes do. But we do keep each other's scores. Yeah.
Okay.
I have an app on my phone, and I usually put our scores into the phone. That way, it ends up on that website without us having to go home and actually.
Okay.
So I have an app on the website. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it gives you it's not the GIN rating system, which is what a lot of people use, which is like the official one. But it's a website that keeps your handicap and your index and everything the same way that it normally would. So if I go to any course right now, based on their rating, I can get an accurate handicap based on how I go. So yeah, it's nice. So went to Hothead Burrito afterwards and continued working through book 4.5's plot. I figured out chapter 6. And then while I was there for fun, I just wrote chapter 3 of book 9. I was like, yeah, let's do this instead. Let's just write this. So, fun chapter. It takes place at a cemetery, which is always fun. Second time in 3 chapters there at a cemetery for different reasons. And I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of characters I'm introducing, but some of those characters, the reason I went back and did 4.5 and started thinking about 1.5 is because of the characters that are coming into the first half of this book. And there are a lot of them are recurring from previous books. It's so weird that I sit down to plot book 6, I plot book 6. I sit down to plot book 7, I'm plotting book 7. Sit down to plot book 9, and now I'm thinking about the plots of the other books because I want to tie it all together, which is kind of why I feel like I'm plotting 3 books at once right but it's fun. I love it. It's a blast. It's a blast. So this is where I realized I needed to go into. Oh, that was Monday. So then afterward on Sunday, I went and got my groceries and played a little bit of my golf game, and then I broke out my football game here because while I just finished the 1965 Giants Cowboys, I realized that I had 2 games left in my week 4 of 1989, and one of those games was also Giants Cowboys.
Oh,
So I'm going to play 65 Giants Cowboys, and now I'm going to play 89 Giants Cowboys and see how it changes, see who the players are and all that fun stuff. So I'll probably start that tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, probably start that tomorrow. So, Monday, yesterday, 2 days ago, worked from home, back at plotting at lunch. And again, as I'm plotting book 9 and moving back to plot book 4.5 and thinking about book 1.5's characters, I realized that I don't like the ending that I have for book 1.5. It's out there now. You can go get it now. If you buy book 1, there's a link in the back of book 1 for book 1.5. It's live. I don't really sell anything because I'm not trying to. It's on my website. You can download 1.5. I prefer you didn't, but you can because I'm going to go in. It's not the last chapter. It's the second to last chapter. It's too much of a physical fight scene for my characters. They're not. That's not who they are. They're not physical fighters. They're not. It's Sam and Danny, the love interest, getting out of this situation they're in with these 3 guys coming after them. And it's like, I don't want them fighting. This isn't like Hardcastle and McCormick or the Smith and what's the other one? What's the I had another one earlier. I was thinking about the men, women, early 80s TV show, like detective action shows. Hardcastle and McCormick and
I'm not sure.
Oh, I can't remember the other one now. Yeah. Oh, Scarecrow and Mrs. King. That was it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't like that. So I opened up my Google Docs and created a new plot summary spot for book 1 or book 1.5. I went into Novel Crafter, is that right? Yeah. Novel Crafter, and stop calling me. I'm getting like tons of spams here. It's been rough the last couple of days. Let me turn that down. I went into Novel Crafter and I basically asked it for a summary of each of the 7 chapters that make up books 1.5 because I wanted to have a summary of each chapter, but I know I'm going to change chapter 6. That's the one I'm going to change. And then one of the characters that does the attacking of the 3 men is going to come back in book 4, get killed off at the end of book 4, and then in book 7.5 we're going to see him get killed. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole puzzle. I'm having so much fun putting together. So so I did that at lunch. Got as far as I could with that, and I ran out of time. Right after work, I cut my grass. I hate cutting.
I've heard that.
My next door, the house is for sale. So while I was out there I had the leaf blower and I was blowing grass off of their driveway. A woman pulled in and she was going to look at the house. Mm-hmm. So I'm standing in the driveway and she pulls in and she gets out of the car and I was like, do you have like she says, I'm here for a showing of the house. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a nice house. And then I said, do you have like a teenage child by any chance? And she said, I have a 12-year-old. I'm like, please buy this house. I will pay them to cut my grass. I just don't like doing it. It's such a pain. Sweating like crazy. I'm a computer programmer. I'm not supposed to sweat. So
is this the redneck house?
No. This is the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is this side over here. For some reason, it's a nice little house. It's not very big. It's 1 story. I don't know what the basement's like, but it's I can't get people. Well, not me, but they can't seem to get people to stay in it for more than a couple years, and then they leave. Huh. There's been so many people in this house in the 24 years I've been living in this house, where I can look out that window right there and see the house, right. And it's just weird that nobody stays in it for longer than a couple years.
Yeah, you starting to think it might be you?
Oh God, I didn't think of that. I am the common denominator, right? Oh man, we'll blame the guy on the other side. So anyway, so that was Monday afternoon. What did I do? I don't think I did anything afterward. I took a cold shower. Didn't really help that much. And then kind of just sat on the couch and lazed around. Yesterday, I got to work. I was looking for a new book on Libby. That's why I had my phone over here. I was looking for a new book on Libby, and I was looking. It was later in the afternoon. I was looking for something to listen to that had to do with an author type of thing. So I actually typed like author, like writing mysteries or author mysteries, or whatever. And a book came up that says the Author's Guide to Murder is what it's called. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. It turns out it's fiction. And for some odd reason, it looked really interesting to me. And then I didn't actually buy it because right underneath it was an amateur sleuth's guide to murder. And here we go. Again, fiction. It's a cozy mystery. Yeah. So I downloaded the audio version of it. I've been listening to. I'm about 3 or 4 chapters, and it's fine. It's nothing like outrageous, but I really like it. It's got a good character. The murder hasn't happened yet, but it will.
I've noticed in the last well, probably the last 6 months I've been working at the library, that there's been a lot of that kind of book coming out. So it's
really?
kind of a fad right now. Yeah.
It's kind of a meta,
Yeah. Right.
murder mystery about a murder or about
Right.
a murder, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a, kind of the Jessica Fletcher kind of thing being rehashed. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I did that Tuesday at lunch. I continued my plotting. I actually finished book 4.5's plot. It's only 10 chapters. I think it might be 11 now, which again is why my goal, I said I finished plotting the book. I just didn't finish plotting the book that I set for my goal. So I finished, but I also failed the goal. So I finished 4.5 and I'm ready now before I go back to 9, the next thing I do probably tomorrow at lunch is go back to 1.5 and redo how I'm going to do that chapter. And then I'll be up to date with book 9 with all the characters, and I'll continue working there. Golf league afterward. Again, I hate that course. Tuesday night, can't stand it. It's Manakiki, what it's called. It's a Cleveland Metro Parks course. It's on the east side, and it is a hard course. The rough, you have to. I say you have to swing twice as hard to hit the ball half the distance. It's so brutal. Your club gets caught in it, and for people like me who aren't like great golfers, I'm not down the middle on every hole. I'm over to the left. I'm over to the right. I'm trying to scramble for pars. So you get in that rough and it's impossible to get out of. I shot 49, but I had 3 pars and the other 6 holes were garbage. So I know I hit like a 20-foot putt on one hole, people watching, which is always fun. And then on the 9th hole, I chipped in from about 20 yards off the green, which is also always fun. So overall, it's fine. But I wish they played somewhere else. I've been in that league 15 years and I just wish they played somewhere else. And then today, I woke up to what I thought was going to be an easy day. And then around 10 o'clock, they said, we got production problems. I quit working around 5:30. So I worked about 10 hours today. So tomorrow I'll be going in about a half an hour. Yeah. And I didn't do any writing because I was going to keep plotting. I couldn't because I worked through lunch.
Right.
So.
Right.
And that was my 9 days. I feel like I made a lot of progress with the books just because I didn't make a whole lot of progress plotting book 9, but with the overall series, I created another book, the one I've been trying to create for the last 6 months. So I'm happy to do that. I might even start writing it before I go to book 9. We'll see. I'm going to work that out.
Yeah, and really the bad part of all that is that, that all that plotting and just structuring doesn't really show up anywhere until you start writing.
Right. Yeah.
They'll make the writing go faster. So that's the whole point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So a week ago Tuesday, I don't know what I did in the morning, but I'm sure it was something outside in the garden. Got to work at noon, and it turned out that was the only day I managed to write, was a week ago Tuesday. But it was, like I said, it was a great day because I got that 3,000, almost 4,000 words in that day. And I got to thinking that, man, it would be nice to have a day like this at least a couple of times a week. I don't know if you could ever, I could ever get up to that or not, but that would be great. You can just write 2 or 3 times a week and you would have easily a nice production schedule. Wednesday, it was really busy at the library, but even when I did have free time off the desk, I should have spent it writing, but I didn't, because I think, as I mentioned last week, I've been going through all the donations that we get because it's just been clogging up the back storeroom, and it's become like a treasure hunt, and I just love doing it. And I'll talk some more about that as we go through. But that's really became a theme for what I did on my off time at work. Thursday, a few of our people called in sick, so I had to spend basically the entire day on the front desk fighting whatever patron fires there were. So other than lunch, the only other hour I got off, I did go back there and start going through the books. I'm actually filling up. I'm culling books and putting stuff on the side that we'll send to the friends of the library that they'll eventually sell. But what I'm really doing is I'm rapidly filling up the dumpster out back. I think I've filled up almost half that dumpster so far with the books that I've called out. But last Thursday, I did manage to score a number of old mysteries for my wife. Part of my deals with the branch manager is that, I'll do this because nobody else is doing it and it needs to be done. But I get to keep what I want. So I got a number of old mysteries, one from 1907, one from 1910. So that's right, my wife's alley, and including 3 Maigres. I don't know if you've ever seen the Maigres on TV. They're mysteries set in France. They're written by George Simenon, who has actually wrote, I believe, about 70 novels in the Maigre series.
Wow. Yeah,
if you ever get a chance to look up Maigre on BritBox or whatever, and you watch them, they Maigre, in the series I watched anyways. Actually, it's kind of funny because the series we watched was, I think it ran for 3, 4, 5 seasons, whatever. The title character was played by Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore after the first Dumbledore died.
Again, not much of a Harry Potter person.
Okay,
so.
that's right. Yeah,
I don't know. I know who the character is, but I don't know who the
really good actor. And then then after, that was, I don't know when that was done, probably in the 2000s or something like that. And then recently they tried to reboot it with what's his name, Rowan Atkinson as the lead. And it was weird watching Rowan Atkinson playing this serious detective. It just didn't fit.
Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean, yep.
Love Mr. Bean.
Now, if he would have played it as Mr. Bean, it would have been hilarious. But yeah, I think it was one of the things where he's trying to break away from that character, and it just didn't work that well.
No, he's always Mr. Bean.
Yeah. Friday through Sunday, had basically a long weekend off, and I either spent working out in the garden or cooking or doing puzzles with Tammy, anything but writing. I didn't do anything with respect to writing. Monday, hilariously, I walked in Monday, and the branch manager comes up to me and goes, guess what? Nobody's coming in today but you.
Oh, Jesus.
In my department, in the reference department. So she joined me on the public desk for the whole morning, which is okay because, she's really easy on the eyes and the ears. I think I've mentioned before, she sounds just like, she's got one of those really deep, buttery voices like Scarlett Johansson. So, and we just spent the whole time talking there while we were on the desk. But then it eventually came to them because somebody did come in at noon. Finally, the night person. And I don't think when she said nobody was coming in, I think she just meant the morning people. Yeah. So, yeah, I got to go to lunch then. And by the time I got back from lunch, the branch manager had found somebody else to take her place. So it wasn't as much fun. But I just had to spend the whole day on the desk because
I feel like you might have just written the beginning of a Hallmark movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've thought about that a couple of times. Yeah. Yesterday, it was spent sowing seeds for the fall garden and putzing around outside before heading into the library at noon. This was a day at work when I could have done some more writing, but again, I didn't. I went instead and screwed around with the donations. I did come up with a few more mysteries for my wife, and I got a Raymond Chandler novel for myself, which was like in pristine condition. And nice. I think I forgot to mention yesterday, not yesterday, but Monday when I was going through, I got a bunch of really pristine condition Emily Bronte? I think it was one of them. One of them was Emily. Yeah.
Charlotte was one of them.
Yeah. Well, I got a number of pristine Bronte novels, and who wrote Pride and Prejudice? That wasn't
Emma. No. So you asked me, I wouldn't know.
It wasn't one of the Brontes, though, was it? I don't think.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I got a bunch of those old novels that everybody always says are great romances, and I've never read them.
That's a great title for the podcast. Yeah. Who wrote Pride and Prejudice?
And the other thing that happened on Tuesday yesterday was that I was listening to the One Drink Book Club, the podcast with Johnny Turrent that he had with some of his friends. And one of the people that's on that podcast with him is a woman named Emma. I'm not even sure what her last name is. She writes romances. And it was interesting because she was going through the differences between, as a romance writer, keeping in mind the differences in the way in which women bond to each other and to men, as opposed to the way men bond to each other and how men bond to women. And women bond, the main bonding hormone is oxytocin, which oxytocin, yeah, I think that's right, which is commonly known. It causes the warm, fuzzy feelings and stuff, and that's the way women bond to men, and also the way they bond to each other. But men bond with a hormone called vasopressin, which is, so one is emotional, but the vasopressin bonding is based on accomplishments. So men bond when they accomplish something together, which is why you get the kind of band of brothers effect and all that kind of stuff. So she said it's really important when you're writing romances to keep this difference in mind, so that you're getting the right kind of actions out of people and getting the right kind of reactions to what they're doing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm going to put that in the back of my head and keep that for later.
Yeah, me too. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later in the day, I picked up a book. I was working the evening on Tuesday, like always, and I picked up a new book that I haven't read. Premi Mohammed. She's somebody I've known for a number of years now on the social media, particularly on Blue Sky recently, and she's written quite a number of books. She's actually a scientist, but she writes fiction in her spare time. I don't know when she gets spare time being a scientist, but she does. And the book is called Beneath the Rising, which is a really good book. It's kind of a cross horror between horror and fantasy, and I can see where it's going. I'm only about a quarter of the way in. I got a feeling I know what's going to happen, but it's got a lot of supernatural stuff in it, and it's really interesting. So I highly recommend it to anybody looking for that kind of a book. That's a horror fantasy cross. Today, again, I had to spend most of my time on the public desk or rummaging around in donations. I'm almost all through it, though. So that will be really nice. Then I'll just have to keep up with it as it comes in. So I had taken the last of it back, and I went through it all. And there's just still a few things in the shelves back in the storeroom. And by the time I got done and came back out into the public areas, somebody had come in and dumped off a bunch more books. So it's just like never ending. Every single day, somebody comes in with books. And it would be okay if they brought in books that were in good shape. Like when I donate books to the library, I always call them first. Okay, is this in good enough shape to sell or whatever? People just bring in all kinds of junk, stuff that has been through water, that is moldy, that it's just a mess. I wish they would do it themselves. Do some of the calling. But by early afternoon, I just kind of had enough for the day. So I told my branch manager, I'm just going to leave. So I have some administrative leave that I have to take before the 27th, or I lose it. So I took 3 hours off. I came home, made a stir fry. My wife and I had a big mid-afternoon meal, and then I lay down on the couch, took a nap until we started podcasting. Well, until my wife left, I had to move my pickup to get it out of the way so she could get her car out to go to her Orchid Society meeting. But yeah, now we're podcasting, and then I think after we're done with this, I'm going to go back and read some more of the Beneath the Rising and see where it's going.
Okay.
So other than one day and no writing, and hopefully I'll get back to it tomorrow.
Anything new?
No, nothing new.
Nothing new.
Other than I'm working on that. I think I mentioned before the podcast, working on that trip to in September to kind of get out of the heat for a little bit. Okay. It's gonna be a combination trip. See my mother, see the kids who moved to Michigan, and then maybe go up north a little bit, see if I can catch a few of the really, really early color up in the Upper Peninsula.
Mine, nothing new on mine, although I did, I had on here before about talking about how I'm going to price out my series and map it out. And I think I have a pretty good plan. I think I talked last week before last about the plan, but I've kind of added to it and updated a little bit. So I'll talk about it at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
In terms of my addicted to, I stole one of yours from a couple weeks ago. And the reason I stole it is because when you said it, I said, I got to start looking for this. And it's strawberry pie.
Uh-huh.
I love strawberry pie, and I don't want to make it myself. So every week when I go to the grocery store, I'd look for it. And finally, this past, what's today? Wednesday, this past Sunday, they had it. So I bought it, and I actually finished it today. So,
was it good?
Yes, I love strawberry pie. And it was like store-bought, and it was good. I love strawberry pie.
Yeah. I didn't really have anything addicted to this week, unless you want to count sifting through old moldy books. But that's not really.
That doesn't sound like something.
No, that's not really the intent of addicted to. Other than that, I was pretty addiction free.
Good. Looking at the next 5 or 6 days for me up until next Monday when we podcast again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to go into the office and try to get some plotting done at lunch. Probably going to go back to 1.5, like I said, and try to work out that final scene. Second to last chapter, and knowing me, I'll be like, well, I'm going to switch this chapter up. I'm sure I'll dive into it a little more than I should. Right now, I care about the climax in. Actually, it's kind of like the false ending piece. You think he's going to get away, but he really doesn't. Mm-hmm. And I'll work on that a little bit. I'm trying to make it a little more intellectual and less physical in terms of how they get away. Something a little tricky they can do to get away. I need to give one of those characters. It's like 3 men in black basically come after him. I need to give one of those characters some kind of a recognizable characteristic so that when Sam sees him again in book 4, he'll remember him, which is what I'm going for. So that's going to be Thursday, and I'll do that at lunch. No plans in the evening at all. Friday, I'm working a half a day Friday. Decided to take one this week, and that's because Saturday, the golf course I usually golf out on weekends is closed. They have an outing, so we can't golf. So Friday, I texted a buddy of mine a couple days ago and said, hey, you want to golf Friday? He said, yeah. So we're going to play around 11:30 on Friday. So I'll work for 4 hours in the morning. And there's a local course. It's like 15 minutes away. We'll go play there. We play there about once a year. And we'll see how we do. And I think he asked another friend of his to come along who I've golfed all the time. So he's one of those guys who's like, he's an athlete. I golfed with him once or twice within a year of him starting to golf. And he was already killing the ball. And but he's a nice guy. So I can't say that. But
that's like my son. He was 10 years old, and just because he was a natural athlete, he was hitting the ball longer than me when he was 10 years old.
Yeah. So then Saturday, again, no golf in the morning. So Friday, I'll play golf, then I'll come home, probably start this football game up or continue this football game that I have down in front of me. I have my cards right here. There's New York Giants kicker Raul Allegri. I got the cards all spread out here in front of me. I'm excited. I wonder if I can wait. Let's just see if I can do this real quick. I think I've tried this before. If I go here, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. You can still hear me. If I go here, is this going to work? Oh, it won't let me select it.
Yeah, I think you had that problem before.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to figure out how to get my camera back. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was going to try to show what I have down here with this camera right here, but you can't see. So anyway, I have all my cards spread out in front of me, ready to go for the game. So then Saturday, again, no golf in the morning. So I'll do what I normally do on a winter day when I'm not golfing in the morning. I'll go to Chick-fil-A, get some breakfast, and work on some plotting. I'm trying to. I don't know. I don't really have I have a goal, but it's I don't know if I can get it through it or not. Run some errands. I have a whole bunch of Best Buy gift cards burning holes in my pockets, and I don't know what to do with them. So we might head to Best Buy and buy something I probably don't need. Then I'll be home to play some games, play some of my board games here. Sunday, I am golfing, but it should be a quick round. It's probably just going to be two of us. So I'll be home pretty early, and then I'll continue the plotting and see how far I can get with it. And then I'll go to the grocery store like I always do. Monday, I'm back to working from home, and I'll continue plotting at lunch. I don't know what I want to do yet in terms of a goal. I'd like to say that I'm going to get done with Book 9's plot. That's a really hard goal. I shouldn't even have made it a goal last week. I knew I'd fail it. But I'm still plotting 1.5's chapter. I'm still going over 4.5 and making sure I'm happy with it. There's a lot of stuff going on in these 3 books, two short stories and 1 novel. So I think what I'm probably going to do is just say for my goal, I want to have 4.5 done, 1.5's changes done, not written, but at least plotted differently to where I want it. And then maybe I'll try to say I can get through the midpoint of Book 9 this week. And then, because every now and then, every week I've picked a day and just written something, and it could be 4.5's intro. Who knows? But I think I'm going to put 1,000 words down as a goal. Also, try to do a little bit of writing when I'm mostly plotting. So.
Yeah, that goal of finishing Book 9's plot is something that's going to happen when you don't have it as a goal. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
It'll just suddenly happen. You'll go, oh, how did that happen? Well, with the short week coming up, in fact, I'm working all the days except for Sunday. So tomorrow I've got a big class day. I'll be teaching Canva basically all afternoon. I've got expecting a room full of people if the tropical storm that's coming our way doesn't keep them in. But I should probably still get it, even with the tropical storm coming, 8 to 10 people. So that'll be a big day for me teaching that stuff. Friday and Saturday, normal 9 to 6 work days for me. It's going to be the best chance for me to sneak in some words where I can. Sunday's a day off, but like most Sundays, I'll probably spend it doing something with Tammy, maybe working in the yard if it's not raining, but it's supposed to be raining. Still, but if the storm passes through quickly, we may have some cleanup to do. A lot of times we have some really old pecan trees in the backyard, and they tend to drop their limbs when you have winds come through. So we'll see. Monday, I'll be back at the library, and if people decide to show up for work like they're supposed to, maybe I'll get some time to jam in some writing. I won't have to really work on the donations, because even if we do get some to come in, it should only take me, a half hour to finish it all up. I do have to repack everything, because when the friends of the library want things sorted when they get it. So I have to sort out, and I haven't been doing that as I've been going through. I've just been looking at condition. So I got to sort out nonfiction from fiction, paperbacks from hardbacks, audio visual from everything else. Maybe kids' books too. I can't remember, but that shouldn't be too hard. So I'm going to keep the same goal as I had this past week and leave it at 3,000 words, and hopefully I'll get that.
All right.
In terms of stuff to share, the only thing I can think of is to mention that Johnny B. Truant has opened up another Kickstarter. Opened yesterday, I believe, for what he's calling the Artisan Author Book and College. He's going to be teaching a 10-week, 2 days a week live class college on how to be an artisan author, where you focus on basically building the 1,000 true fans and don't worry so much about all this rapid release Amazon algorithm kind of stuff. The way he puts it is that, he's had those successes apparently with their Invasion book. He and Sean Platt released. They were making like $50,000 a weekend on that book. He now has throttled back to the point where he's making $5,000 a weekend hand selling at local markets and fairs.
Oh.
So, and I know he's gotten to the point where the stuff he saw on Amazon, they made that $50,000, getting like maybe $3 a book at the most, ebook to sell. He sells his books, hard copies for like $25-$30 and basically sells bundles. He says it's amazing. People, even if they don't know you, they don't know you as an author, they will go for the $100 bundle as opposed to buying just a $25 book. So yeah, apparently it's if you've got the people skills, you can go ahead and sell like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I am going to sign up for that. I'm kind of on the fence about whether to do the college bit. It is going to be recorded, so you can't go back through it. The advantage to being live is it's going to be live question and answers as well. So yeah, okay. We'll see what happens with that.
For me, I talk a little bit more about my marketing and pricing plan for this series once I'm out there. I'm trying to think of it as kind of a book by book thing. So book 0.5 is the one that I've written a first draft already. Again, just to recap here, I have 9 books in the series. Book 1 is already published. The rest of them are not. And I have 3 or 4 short stories, novellas. Book 0.5, which is I have the first draft on 1.5, which I have finished and it's published, but I'm going to make some changes to it. And then 4.5, I just started plotting and finished plotting. And then book 7.5, I've already written. So I'm going to have actually 13 books in this series. And I've already written all but 2 of them, a short story and a novel. So book 0.5 is going to be primarily for marketing. I'm not going to offer it up anywhere else except for like Facebook ads, book funnel, things like that. And then every time I release a book, I'll do one of those cheap free Booksy, Fussy Librarian, all those different newsletter services that you can pay $20 for and you get a day where they advertise you, or you pay $50 and you get a couple days, things like that. I'll do a bunch of those. Those are always fun for me in the past. I wouldn't call them super successful, but they were fun because your book starts going up the charts. This will be strictly for this novella to give it away for free. And the goal is to get newsletter signed. That's all it is. One thing I don't know, now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't know, can I do like Fussy Librarian and point it to a book funnel link, or do I have to point it to like Amazon or something like that? I guess I don't know the answer.
I think you can point it wherever you want.
Yeah, because it's free. It's going to be a free book, but they have to give me their email address to get it. So does that make it a free book? I don't know. Like I wonder if these websites have rules about that.
I don't know. Sure. That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know about that.
So anyway, that's what I'm planning. And then, like I said, Facebook ads and things like that. So every time I release a book, that'll be the plan for this novella. That'll get people into the series. And then hopefully they read book 1 and then they go to whatever book has been released and then keep going after that. Book 1 is currently $3.99 on Amazon and it's in KU. It will have book 0.5 will have a link to book 1 in the back. Book 1 will have a link to book 1.5 in the back, which hopefully gets me more newsletter subscribers. It's also going to be a freebie only available in the back of book 1. I'm not, all those novellas, I'm not giving them away anywhere else. It's a freebie and I have to get your email address to do it. Book 1.5, like I said, it's a freebie. It will link to book 2 in the back. Book 2 is going to be $3.99 and it'll link to book 3. Book 3 will be $3.99 and it'll link to book 4. But when book 3 comes out, I'm going to drop book 1 down to 99 cents and then run some promos toward it at the same time that I'm running those same promos to the book 0.5.
Right. So
book 4 is going to be, good.
Are you going to tell people that when they sign up to your list that, a couple of different ways. If they sign up to your list after book 1, are you going to send them book 1.5 and then tell them that you will send them as they work through the series, you'll send them every additional free book, or how's that going to work?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Or if they
I guess I probably would do that. So in one of the newsletters, when I say, hey, this book is out, or maybe in the automation sequence, I could do something like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of that. So because you don't want to. Well, I mean, if they click the link somewhere else, and it'll go to the page where they put their email address, and it's that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, so I have to sit down and think about
and
that.
also the idea of it being backward compatible
Yeah.
too. If they sign up at book 4, you want to get them the other ones that came before.
Yeah. So then book 4 will be $3.99. It'll have book 4.5 link in the back, and then book 4.5 is the freebie I just talked about, plotting, only available in the back of book 4. And then book 5 is gonna be $3.99. But once it comes out, I'm gonna create a 99-cent box set that includes books 1 through 4. And then books 6 and 7 will be $3.99 also. 6 will have a link to 7, and 7 will have a link to 7.5. 7.5 is another freebie, only available to the people in the back of book 7, but like you said, work out some other ways with that. And then it's going to have a cliffhanger, hopefully getting people to book 8. Once 8 comes out, I'll create another box set of 5, 6, and 7. I'll make it $7.99. So if you buy it, the box set for those 3 instead of the individually you buy them, you're saving $4. And I feel like people that are going to read 5, 6, and 7, that are going to buy 5, 6, and 7 individually, they're a fan. They'd probably be happier to see the box set because they know they're going to read through it because they've already read the first 4.
Right.
So my guess is they're going to keep going. So why not offer them a little bit off if they buy the box set?
Yeah.
And then 7.5 will have that cliffhanger to book 8, and then they'll make the box set $7.99. And then 8 and 9, I'm not going to put in any sets. They're going to be $4.99 a piece. No box sets. Once you read through 7, if you want to keep going, you pay the $4.99 each for 8 and 9. And then 9 will be the end of what I'm calling season 1 of the series. There will be one open loop that it does not need to be wrapped up. If I decide never to write in this series again, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of Sam moving forward with his future. And then if I want to pick it up and book, then I can do that. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do with it. I'm pretty confident about this. I like this. I may change it between now and then, add a few more things to it, but I kind of like where I'm going with it. It's very similar to what I saw Paul Teague do with his 9-book series a few years back. I remember I mentioned I wrote his stuff down on a note card. I mentioned it last week on a Post-it note and hung it up. I did something very similar, but a little bit different, based on kind of where I'm offering the freebies. So.
Is these price points that you're hitting here, is this what's currently going on in the genre, or what?
I think the genre is more $4.99.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I'll have to, my goal is, I don't mind losing. I don't know. I mean, again, between now and then it could change. But I like the $3.99 price point for a book better than $4.99 personally.
Uh-huh.
There's something about $4.99 that makes me think I'm spending $5. So $3.99 still seems cheap to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, $4.99 might be more appealing because it's $5. It's a better book. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
In fact, you wouldn't unless you tested it, probably.
Yeah. And I was looking through some old emails and I found the K-Lytics guy. I haven't gotten anything of his in a while. But before I go start sending these out, I'm going to get the murder mystery or the mystery thriller or whatever he does for that. I'll get the K-Lytics report and just see what they're doing, and I'll make changes based on that.
Right. The other thing I'm thinking of looking at this is that once 8 and 9 come out, you're only going to sell those as individuals.
Yep.
But that's basically for the people who've already bought the previous box sets. If you create an omnibus of all 9 books and sell it for like $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I bet you would get people coming new to it that would do that. That would.
Yeah, I actually like that idea. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having like a pretty high priced product out there on Amazon. So that's true. I think if I did something like that, I would include the short stories also.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it, and then that would make it a little more distinguished. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, from actually just buying the 9 or getting the box set and then buying the individuals. You buy this here, and you get all the short stories at the same time.
Right. Yeah. You get the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. In fact, I'm going to add that because that's a really good idea.
$50 I just pulled out of my head. That's probably not the price point you would want to hit.
I don't even know what price point it would be. I mean, if you do the math, you could do 99 cents, then you can do 70. So it's $8.99 plus
you basically
5 and 5.
You basically have to add up what all the books cost and then give them a 25% discount, whatever it was.
Or add something extra in there and make it $19.99. Like
yeah, right.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can talk now. Do you have anything else to add? Because I'm typing really quick.
No. I mean, that was your stuff to share. yeah, it sounds like a good plan. I look forward to it coming out so we can start seeing how the market reacts to it.
I mean, I have no hope at all because it's really, really hard to sell books.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just hoping that it can. I mean, it seems to me like the ones that catch on are the ones that, you know, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, the ones that catch on for a reason. What's the reason? Is it a unique character? Is it really good marketing? Is it that Oprah talked about it? Like, what's the actual reason that the ones that make it big versus the ones that don't make it big, which are probably just as good as the ones that do? Like, what is that luck thing? I don't know what that is.
Right. And I don't think anybody really knows. It's just, you know, it's like you said, it's luck. It depends when you hit the market, who else is releasing, what's going on in the world around you. And But the nice thing about it, the fact that you're doing it yourself, is that you can keep coming back to it again and again and again and trying over, basically relaunch again and again and again, just to get it out there in front of people. Because,
and if it does really well, I can keep going with it if I want to.
Yeah, right. This is as opposed to being trad published, where once they launch and they give you a month, and if nothing happens, that's it. You never see it again. So
and it's so funny because I've got ideas in my head for, like, if this thing doesn't do well and I want to switch to something else. I have ideas. I know what I want to do other than this series. But if this series does really well, I'm actually would be excited about writing the next 9. I just don't know if I could write one after another. I'd have to do it this way again.
Right.
If it did, because I think I can write such a better overall story if I do it this way, which is kind of weird, but yeah.
You'd be like George Simenon and write 70 books. Now, I don't know how many released a year, but his books are relatively short. So even, you know, and he wrote, I don't know when he died. It's been quite a while now, like a lot, like decades. So he was writing short when the idea is you write long. But he was writing into the French market. Most of his stuff was translated, so French market might be different. That's the other thing you do. You know, once you get it all out there, and maybe it won't catch on in the U.S. market or English market. Maybe it'll catch on in the German market or something. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
All right. Well, that is going to be it for us today. You have anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
All right. If you want to get in touch with me, Jerry at jerryevanoff.com. Email me. Tell me if I'm being dumb or being smart with this whole pricing plan. Yeah. What do you think? Find the website, jerryevanoff.com. Again, I'm going to dust off the Facebook page at some point sooner than later, facebook.com/jerryevanoff-author, if you want to go there. And then we're on, if you're listening to us, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/@newauthorpodcast. You can see our pretty faces and our bald heads.
My email is rich@richcacy.com, and you can find me shitposting over on Blue Sky at Kacy himself.
All right, everyone, that's going to be it for this week. Thanks for listening or watching. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Take care, everybody.